In a quiet forest, a young fox snuggled close to his family in their cozy den. The night was peaceful until dark clouds gathered and a fierce storm rolled in. The wind howled, rain poured down, and a loud clap of thunder startled the fox. Frightened, he dashed out of the den, only to be swept away by the raging river nearby. He tumbled through the currents, his small paws struggling to find solid ground. Eventually, the river carried him far away before depositing him onto a muddy bank, exhausted and alone. When the storm settled, the fox found himself on the riverbank, far from home. The forest around him was unfamiliar, filled with towering trees and strange sounds. His heart pounded with worry. "Mama! Papa!" he called, but no answer came. Determined, the fox decided to find his way back. He trudged through the thick underbrush, his fur soaked and matted, shivering from the cold. As night fell, fireflies flickered around him, their tiny lights guiding him along a narrow forest path. As the fox wandered, he met a wise old owl perched on a low branch. "You look lost, little one," the owl hooted. The fox explained his situation and the owl nodded. "Follow the river upstream. It may lead you home. But be careful, and trust the friends you make along the way." The owl spread his wings and soared into the night, leaving the fox with a newfound sense of hope. Illustration prompt: a large brown owl speaking to a curious young fox under the moonlight. The fox followed the owl's advice and soon encountered a busy squirrel gathering acorns. "I'm trying to find my family," the fox said. The squirrel pointed toward a narrow path. "That trail leads toward the river's source. Be careful of the brambles ahead." Thanking the squirrel, the fox continued. Along the way, he nibbled on an acorn the squirrel had given him, feeling his strength return. Illustration prompt: a cheerful squirrel handing an acorn to the fox near a winding forest path. While walking, the fox met a raccoon with a sly grin. "I know a shortcut home," the raccoon claimed. Excited, the fox followed, only to find himself in a dark, thorny thicket. "Oops, wrong way," the raccoon laughed, disappearing into the night. The fox sighed and retraced his steps. Scratched and frustrated, he reminded himself to be cautious of those who promise too much. Illustration prompt: a mischievous raccoon leading the fox toward a dark, tangled part of the forest. Just as the fox was feeling hopeless, he stumbled upon a large brown bear fishing in a stream. "You should be careful of tricksters," the bear rumbled. "But you're on the right path. Keep following the river and listen to your heart." Encouraged, the fox thanked the bear and pressed on. The bear offered him a fish, which the fox gratefully accepted, giving him the energy to continue his journey. Illustration prompt: a kind-looking bear fishing in a stream while speaking to the fox. As the fox neared the end of the river's path, he saw a broken wooden bridge. He needed to cross, but the planks were wobbly. A family of deer offered to help. "Follow our steps," the mother deer said. Carefully, the fox followed and made it across safely. The fawn smiled at him, and the fox felt a warm sense of friendship. Illustration prompt: the fox cautiously crossing a broken wooden bridge with deer leading the way. On the other side of the bridge, the fox suddenly smelled something familiar: his family's scent. Excited, he ran toward the scent, his paws barely touching the ground. He knew he was close. With each step, memories of his home flashed in his mind. The warm den, the loving nuzzles of his parents, the playful games with his siblings. At last, the fox reached a clearing and heard familiar voices. "My little one," his mother cried. His family rushed to him, showering him with licks and nuzzles. "We were so worried." The fox's heart swelled with joy. He was home. His siblings bounced around him excitedly, and his parents pulled him into a warm embrace. Illustration prompt: the fox happily reunited with his fox family in a sunlit forest clearing. That night, back in the safety of the den, the fox told his family about his adventure. "I learned to be careful but also to trust kind friends," he said. His parents nodded proudly. "And next time, I won't run off in a storm." The fox curled up beside his siblings, feeling safer than ever before. As he drifted into sleep, he silently thanked the friends who had helped him find his way home. Illustration prompt: the fox curled up with his family, safe and warm in their cozy den.